Hi and good morning. My name is Elsie. Today I would like to talk about the ASEAN political security community and the issue related with the effectiveness of the establishment. First and foremost, the Association of Southeast Asian was established on 8 August 1967 by 5 foreign ministers of Malaysia, Indonesia, the Philippines, Singapore, and Thailand. The 5 foreign ministers are Tun Abdul Razak of Malaysia, Adam Malik of Indonesia, Narciso R. Ramos of Philippines, S. Rajaratnam of Singapore, and Tanat Kaman of Thailand. As for today, there are 10 members of ASEAN, and 5 of these countries are Brunei Darussalam, Cambodia, Vietnam, Myanmar, and Laos. The geographical location, culture, and having the similarity of activities of economy has given the Southeast Asian countries opportunities to work together in promoting peace and stability, to work together in politics and economy, and social question that brings them to form the ASEAN Political Security Community. ASEAN Political Security Committee also has been criticized for its inability to find resolutions of its long history of territorial conflict due to the internal and external issues facing some of the Southeast Asian countries. The roadmap of ASEAN Political Security Community blueprint has been the guideline even the effectiveness continues to be challenged by traditional security issues, national political problem, interstate disagreement, transnational crime, drug trafficking, development gaps and economic struggles, and more. Therefore, abiding respect and understanding for justice and law in promoting regional peace and stability will be the benchmark for ASEAN to reduce the conflicts, especially in what concerns of human rights, and even to involve great powers in its own regional affairs peacefully. The issue related with ASEAN Political Security Community is human rights protections versus state sovereignty. According to ASEAN Political Security Community 2009, it has 3 key features which include a rules-based community of shared values and norms, a cohesive, peaceful, stable and resilient region with shared responsibility for comprehensive security, and a dynamic outward-looking region in an increasingly integrated and independent world. These 3 features in ASEAN Political Security Community have made ASEAN members to work harder, especially concerning the violation of basic human rights. To strengthen the establishment and mission of the ASEAN Political Security Community, ASEAN Intergovernmental Commission on Human Rights has been launched. The establishment of ASEAN Intergovernmental Commission on Human Rights is designed to be part of ASEAN organizational structure and to work continuously with overall responsibility for the promotion and protection of human rights in ASEAN. It also has given the role of civil society to implement their responsibility or be part on promotion and protection on human rights, develop strategies that will voice the rights of individuals of the region, to raise awareness, to obtain data and information regarding human rights in the region and disseminate ideas, knowledge and instruments for the protection of human rights in ASEAN countries. The Rohingya issue is one example of human rights that has been violated, that even ASEAN members facing challenges to help these minorities in Myanmar to live peacefully without being discriminated against by their own country. Conflict arises between Rohingya Muslims and Rohingya Buddhists as majority of citizens are Buddhist, and the government of Myanmar also declare they are not the citizens of the nation. The result of this action has made the Rohingya people have the largest population stateless in the world. As for that, more action needs to be done by ASEAN members in solving the human rights issues. ASEAN members should hand in hand to see the issues as their priorities so that life of each individual can be protected in terms of his or her rights as a human being. With the principles of state sovereignty and non-interference upholding by ASEAN countries, they fail to protect the citizens because there is no use if only to raise the concern of human rights in a paper, but remain silent when one's life is threatened to death. Thank you.
Hello everyone, my name is Deidre. So today I will continue with my presentation part, which is Asian Political Security Community Challenges. So basically I will explain or elaborate two issues that challenging the political security community. So the first issue is the transnational crime and transboundary. As we know, the Asian has been dealing with transnational crime including smuggling, terrorism, money laundering, sea piracy, people smuggling, trafficking in person, international economic crime, cyber crime, illicit drug trafficking, and trafficking of wildlife and timber. Due to the location that is very strategic and vulnerable, Southeast Asia is surrounded by other major markets for illegal activity in the neighboring region of East Asian, South Asian, and Oceania. Despite the different and expanding law enforcement challenges confronting Southeast Asian and countering the movement of people and goods across the borders, cross-border companies continue to raise and at the same time fight cross-border organized crime. So for example, in October 2018, border liaison officer in the Golden Triangle region shared by Laos, Myanmar and Thailand exchange information, where leading to it the seizure of 4.3 million methamphetamine tablets originating from Myanmar and destined for Thailand. So besides that, Asian countries are a global hub of trafficking in person as a source and destination region. In some Asian countries, the detection of human trafficking has generally increased. In countries such as Thailand, through legislation or program action, the number of victims found has increased, which clearly helped improve the identification of victims and effectiveness of the criminal justice response. A part of that, one of the transboundary issues that expose the limitation of Asian is occurrence of haze and transboundary pollution. Transboundary pollution has been defined as a physical, externally or spillover that cross state lines. In many cultures in Southeast Asia, fire are used to clean the land, and the smoke generated is spread throughout this region during the dry season. Logging and forest fire in the island of Sumatra and Kalimantan, Indonesia, as the wind direction change, the haze caused by the fire spread to Malaysia, Brunei, Singapore, Thailand, and the Philippines. Next is one of the critical challenge for the Asian security, which is different in government system among Asian countries. This situation still seriously lack confidence on certain issues because the country are difficult to cooperate and action taken by among the country may vary. Asian member must maintain frank and open dialogue on issues that affect their changing security environment or interests, their threat perception and national strategy to deal with those threats. The difference in the government system in Asia can be seen through the case study of Myanmar and Thailand, where the types of government greatly affect the domestic stability of a country, like economy, security, welfare, and of the citizen. In the major political party, generally they are considerable, suppressed and controlled by the military government. Myanmar implement the military government. During the 12th Asian Summit, Asian nations had failed to come an agreement on Myanmar's lack of political reform, as each country has their own opinion and concerns. While some countries do not wish to interfere with Myanmar internal issue, others regards democracy and human rights issue as possible obstacle for Asian to be integrated in terms of politics, which is part of the 2015 vision. According to the Corruption Perception Index, Myanmar ranked 178 out of the 180 countries in terms of corruption. It also affects the military efficiency and good governance practice in the country. While Thailand's political situation has been plagued by issues such as the ongoing and significant between urban and rural political orientation and priority, and democratically elected leaders who abuse their power and conflict of interest. With all of these issues make it difficult for Asian countries to work together, and much work needs to be done to resolve this issue. That's all for my presentation. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Lisa Sabrina binti Yasin with matrix ID 2015-938-227. Okay, so in recommendation and suggestions, so it has been a long way since the APSC implement their blueprints, which is first blueprint in 2009 till 2015. So in just last year is mark on their mark at 4th year of the new APSC blueprint, which is to enhance their political stability, their democracy, and promoting the good governance. So in ongoing year, security issues like transboundary, the US-China exchange war, and the reinforcing of part of state collaborations become some hot issues during the Asian Summit. Since the most recent couple of decades, Asia has kept on heightening their participations through different system, activities, and legitimate instruments to foster and battling transnational issues. So the most noteworthy approach making body in the Asians' participations in taking care of the transnational crime is the Asian Ministerial Meetings on Transnational Crime, which called AMMTC, which is held at their regular intervals in 2 times in a year, which in 2 times in the year. So AMMTC range different participations of Asian bodies identified with battling transnational crime. For example, like Asian senior officials on drug matters, Asian Chief of National Police, Asian APOL, Asian Director General of Customs, and Asian Director General of Immigrations and heads of consular divisions, Ministry of Foreign Affairs, DGCIM, which to execute and arrange the strategies and activity plans set by the AMTC itself. A high official gathering on transnational crime is held at any rate once per year. There are also additional territorial instruments outside the Asian structure, to be specific the Asian APOL, which has made a constrained database framework. This to help to enhance their security. Furthermore, by implementing such effectively the work program of the Asian Plan of Actions to combat the transnational crimes covering the terrorism, illicit drug trafficking, trafficking human, arms smuggling, sea piracy, money laundering, international economic crimes, and also the cyber crimes, is one of the ways to improve the Asians' capacity to address any non-traditional security issues efficiently. In building a quite serene and stable region, Asians also embrace a true way to deal with security, which improve their ability to manage existing and also developing difficulties, such as like settle contrast and question by the serene method, guarantees that our area stays liberated from atomic nuclear weapons and also different weapons of mass demolition, just as upgrade maritime security and participation. Okay, other than that, by strengthening the Asian Regional Forum process in support of the Asians community. So by execute the choice of the ARF ministers to move the ARF towards the phase of preventive diplomacy while proceeding to reinforce certainty building measures and to develop the concrete and commonly helpful participation program as suitable among our ARF and important provincial and global associations, including those of the UN framework. So in depth of enhancing the maritime security, APSC should maintain also the South China Sea as a sea of peace, prosperity, and cooperations by resolve any regional and jurisdiction debates among parties worried by tranquil methods, without without utilization any of power through meetings and dealings by sovereign states straightforwardly, as per all around perceived standard of the worldwide law, which is the 1982 UN Convention for the Law of the Sea, called UNCLOS. So this means Asian members also must proceed along the cooperations to move forward their shared the norms and create common action to achieve the Asian objective in the political and security field as well. So, in essence, to stay relevant, Asian must also commit itself to the centrality that implies Asians to keep its seat of their own and not involve in such great power to prevent major challenge occur. So, next, by towards the goal of compliance, where Asian has a multitude of old and the new declaration, treaties, protocols, plan of actions, and blueprint to cater their problems. But the important is to stay compliance of each member state to decrease their level of critiques and to become reliable towards the regions. And then the conflict resolutions. Asian face difficulties in the areas of conflict resolutions also, but therefore Asians should embrace the challenge of the conflict resolution and also preventive diplomacy through improve the objective of the the ARF itself by using best approach and also the mechanism. And in order to stay relevant, common security must be strengthened by using the principle of inclusiveness, by inviting all the relevant parties to the tables and practice the non-discrimination or impartiality. After that, we look at the in promoting the good governance. So the member states can promote their dialogue or partnership among the government, private sectors, or other relevant organizations to foster and enables more ideas, concepts, methods to combat any issues involving the transparency, effective governance, and accountability. So, and at last, Asian is a local extension, balancer, and also the stabilizer. So, its incorporation is profound and also wide. However, not all that much. It incorporates nations of all shapes and size, yet no single country dominates. As in the case of Myanmar and political issues, the continuing commitment of Asian community to boost and also solve the internal problem has acknowledged and has been taken care of as much as it can, even though there are times that Asian insecurities goes beyond. Still all member states remains hold the cooperations and also stay united, steadfastly maintain its neutral broker image among the great power and solve the problem accordingly, and attentively to their people's voices in order to have a peace and serene region throughout the Asian countries. Thank you. So, in conclusion, despite the fact that the Asian political security community can be considered to even now be at its initial long stretch of improvement, and there are still more open doors for development, the troubles that it right now encounters and the way that it responds to such difficulties just make an insecure grounds for institutional improvement. So, with a frail Asian secretariat, an overbearing Chinese force, self-intrigued states that structure unusual coalitions with incredible forces, transnational crime and transboundary and unsettled territorial conflicts, the eventual fate of Asian political security community stays to be unpredictable. Although member states consider the need for integrated regional bodies, many of them also see the development of strong regional bodies as a threat to their own political power and also the position in the region. So, for the regional integration to succeed, the Asian benefits to the peoples of the group must be emphasized. People must feel the benefit of Asian in their daily lives. So Asian must strive to be a community of actions and be able to act decisively and in a timely manner to address the internal and also external threats, violation of human rights and human freedom in order to face the challenges of its member states and its people. Lastly, the Asian community should be a community of citizens where everyone in the region has equitably access to their human development opportunities, justice, and participation in national government. That's all. Thank you.